today I have two very special guests with me. I have worked alongside them for years. I don't know how many years is it? Maybe, oh gosh, a dozen and seven, pushing 20 total, probably. And they're here to just talk to us a little bit about the things that they do and the fun that they have. So, welcome to the show, Samantha Robbins, Creative Project Manager, and Deanne Duncan, Team Catalyst Lead.
Hello, hello, party people.
Hi.
How are we doing today?
We're doing great. Okay. So, I need to tell the world out there, you guys are really special guests because you actually work here at DCA alongside me. And when I said pushing 20 years cumulative, I'm not kidding there.
Mm-hmm.
True. It's true.
I think I'm coming up on 6, and D is way over that.
I'm at, I think, almost 9 here at DCA.
That's right, because you worked with me at another company as well.
Yes. Good times.
Awesome. Yeah, awesome. So instead of me telling them about you and how wonderful you are, first of all, just if each of you wouldn't mind, just kind of do your 60-second elevator pitch and introduce yourself.
Ooh,
hello, world.
Okay.
Yeah.
After you, Samantha, you want to go?
Here we go. Hi, my name is Samantha Robbins. So I've been creative project manager at DCA for going on 6 years, and the big bulk of my role at the company would be to manage the creative projects that we have coming in. So that looks like websites, email marketing, social media, graphic design, all of those kind of elements, and also establishing, a strategy for those things to work together. I also manage the people on the creative team, working to teach them best practices, help them feel elevated and confident in the work that they're doing, and continue to grow the team.
Awesome. D.
Thank you.
All right. Deanne Duncan. I am the Team Catalyst Lead at DCA, and my role in this company is to oversee the administrative team. What that looks like is a lot. We do a lot of different things over there. Some of it can to make it sound a little bit more familiar to folks, it can be anything from inbox management, calendaring, process and procedure creation for a whole bunch of things that a lot of businesses do. A lot of what I do has to do with I like to say it has to do with facilitating relationships, because oftentimes where my team is involved in the day-to-day activities of the clients that they support. So we are privy to a lot of life management as well as business. So that's kind of what I do here.
As a matter of fact, we've gotten feedback from some of your clients, Dee, that things about just giving them back their time. I know you insist that they put lunch breaks on their calendar, and you had one client recently mention something about finally finding time to spend with their family because now they're not working late hours.
Yeah, that was very true. This particular client, that was one of the pain points that they had brought in when they signed up for service. And within, I would say, less than a month, we had given that client their time back to spend with their family.
Awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And Sam, you celebrate a lot of things as well. I know we have an engineering client that kind of just passed on some kudos. You want to tell people about that?
Oh, yes. Well, that was a social media account where really the intention was just to kind of keep them top of mind, be active online, to continue to work with the work that they're doing on their website, and kind of put their face out into the world as an employee engaged, employee focused company, because they were looking to attract talent. And that's happening, but more, excuse me. We ended up getting a little bit more than what we expected. He actually ended up expanding his network quite a bit more than what we anticipated. He's gotten some inquiries on projects as well, and more inquiries on partnerships. So that was a really fun surprise for them and us.
Yeah, that's so cool. Interestingly enough, with the podcast, we got some unexpected results from that as well. It's caused validation for people who found us through Google, and we also through when we're hiring. You would be surprised how many applicants actually mention the podcast. Like, oh yeah, I got to know you already. I listened to your podcast.
Awesome.
So
Clients
it's
also mention it offhand as well, that they do hear it
Yeah.
from
Well,
time to
that's
time.
that's good to know. Please
That's
let
great.
me know that whenever that happens. So speaking of the podcast, I know you guys have each been involved in some stages of it. What is your favorite podcast?
Dee, do you want to go first?
Oh, we have a list, but to
We
pare
do.
it down,
One,
one,
one.
um, one of the most impactful ones was Revive Your Brain or Rewire Your Brain for Positivity with Elizabeth Lewis. That one was very impactful for me for a variety of reasons. So I love that one.
And tell me about the reasons. I mean, you opened it up there.
Well, some of the reasons that, so much of what we do, we have to. I'm an overthinker. I guess that would be what it is. I'm a definite overthinker. And sometimes it causes me to be a little bit anxious. But the tools that she presented during that particular podcast that you all were discussing about, and it actually having to do with like neuroplasticity and kind of telling yourself these things over and over again, it goes along with the positive mantras and stuff like that, your affirmations that you could do in the morning to boost your confidence. And I think that it's showcased itself through my work, trying to rewire my brain and get out of that funk.
Absolutely. And she works with high functioning business owners. So, yeah, she helps them get through all those things, anxiety and all that stuff that kind of, they're super busy. They have lots of responsibility and helping them get through and become even more high functioning and performing than they are.
Mm-hmm.
I actually took her assessment after listening to her episode because I
Did
wanted
you?
to, yeah, because I kind of wanted to see where I fell on the scales that she was talking about. I also loved that episode. I think, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, and even in areas of leadership, your mental health is that is a hot commodity. Your ability to think positively, that rolls down to your team, that rolls down to your coworkers, your peers, and even your clients. How you present yourself and that state of mind really does affect the people that you work with and the people that you're around.
That's so true. Absolutely. Okay. What was your favorite podcast?
I'm going to keep the mental health ball rolling. and I'm gonna preface this by saying the story behind how we ended up with this interview is partially part of why it's my favorite. You know this one, Dee. Actually, you're the one who reached out to him.
I know. I actually that's why I'm laughing because
right?
I know what it is. Yeah.
It's maintaining. My favorite episode was called "Maintaining Mental Health as an Entrepreneur," and when we interviewed Colin McIntosh, is
Yes.
from Sheets and Giggles.
Yes.
And can you please tell the story of how it is that we ended up interviewing this man, because it is a great story.
Oh, my whole dogged pursuit of this man. That's what it was. Good morning. It all started with a Good Morning America post, actually, where I saw him on Good Morning America and he broke a bed on live television.
Yes.
And then I was going through everything and kind of trying to find people on LinkedIn. And I wound up sending him, he had on his LinkedIn profile, like, if I can make him laugh, he'll get back to me. So I made him laugh.
Okay, what did you say?
It was like, puns, like it'll be all Sheets and Giggles, just throwing in his company name there. I can't remember exactly what I wrote, but it was pretty funny. It was gold. So, and he got right back to us.
Perfect. Yes.
He was great. That whole, I think the premise of that episode was really that work is not the means to the end. You know what I mean? It's about living your life and focusing on your happiness. Does this provide you happiness and everything? I thought those were great messages. It encourages a balance to, how much do you put into your own life, and that translates to how much you are able to put into your professional life. I thought it was a really great message.
Definitely. Did you know that his was actually part of the Small Business Week series that we did on Instagram?
Yeah.
I did know that. The Instagram lives. That was fun.
That was
my watch agrees.
Your phone is talking to you. Shut up, Siri.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, we've done a couple of business owner focused events this year. One was the week-long Instagram live for small business owners, for Small Business Week, rather. That was the beginning of May. And then in August, for Women's Equality Day, we did a special event for allyship and had a great guest on for that.
Yeah, she was really great. I really enjoyed that event in particular because I think you've been saying this a lot to me lately when we talk about stuff. I don't know what I don't know. And I haven't heard it so much as I have this year, but it's true. You really don't know what you don't know. And I think that one was a real eye opener, having that, how to be a real ally, and how to encourage, that diversity in your workplace and your employees. I think that was great.
Absolutely. So we've talked about some of the things that we do besides just the work we do. I mean, we present some events, podcasts, keep it definitely small business owner focused. Indeed, that going back to the Instagram live, you actually kind of pinch hit.
That whole thing was crazy, but it was worth it. It was fun. I was a backup for Instagram Live, just in case, because we hadn't been able to confirm a guest. And in the middle of our live, the guest decided to
Oh my
join.
gosh. I
And
remember that.
I was a little scared because I had never done anything like that. Like I was very nervous to be participating in something like that across a large audience, but it was interesting because even though our topics were completely different, somehow we married them very beautifully, and it wasn't as awkward as I thought it was going to be. We handled it, I believe, with grace and poise, and it wound up turning into something awesome. So I can't really complain about it.
And your topic is something that you kind of geek out a bit on.
Oh yeah, I am a super nerd for project management systems in particular, and everybody who knows this, knows me, knows this. I love Asana. It's my favorite. I am an Asana ambassador. I love the product. And I have been trying to turn on as many people as I can, not just to Asana, but to project management software in general, just because it has saved my life and helped a lot of our clients as well.
Absolutely. And we definitely use Asana in our company. I don't think we would survive without of it at all. Sam, what's your favorite? Yeah, I was gonna say, what's your favorite technology tool?
My favorite, well, that's a very broad question. I could go a couple of ways with this.
Just one.
I think overall, in terms of like the big grand scheme of things, the project management tools, Asana really does it for me too. I mean, there's so many things that I would just really forget without that software. Even just those minor things, responding to an email. But I also love that the way it helps you interconnect with other people. The communication. It really helps keep people on track and aligned with one another, and that's what I love about it. Not just that you can keep keep track of your tasks, but also keeping you connected with people.
Precisely. And it can really help you plan out projects even better, like having multiple due dates and stuff like that, little pieces that you have to get done before you can move on to the next piece. It really helps you keep track of everything. So I love it. I do.
So it's interesting that you mentioned Asana as a tool for communication, because I mean, certainly there's communication in it, but I wouldn't have thought of it that. We've made some big strides on communication this year. Would you not agree?
I 100% agree.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think my team says it was a big game changer, because Zoom is great. Zoom is great for a lot of things, but when you have an interconnected organization and like Microsoft, we primarily use Microsoft, don't we? So Microsoft Teams was just a better fit. I also am very partial to the emojis and their movement. I think they're very cute.
And the ringtone, Samantha.
Oh my gosh. I actually made a TikTok dancing to that remix, and Microsoft 360 actually liked it on my TikTok. It was a shining moment for me.
It was amazing.
Isn't that awesome? Okay, so challenges and successes. We talked a little bit about some successes. What are some of the challenges that either you as a leader or we as an organization have faced this year? Who wants to go first?
I would like to go first on this one. Some of the challenges that we have faced this year. There have been a few, but one of them is attrition, with employees and retention. There we go. Employee retention. We in the past have had, trouble not hiring people, but kind of keeping people. And it's not there was, a lot of the things that we discovered is that we needed to talk about what we call the orientation process. We had to revamp that entire thing just to make people feel more included. A virtual environment, even though we're very comfortable operating in this space, is not so comfortable for other people, especially pre-pandemic, not a lot of people working from home. So this was a new environment for them to operate in, and revamping our orientation has greatly helped us in finding and keeping very good talent, great talent.
That whole initiative came about from surveying our employees. And it was a really simple survey, I think maybe 8 questions. But one of the things that had come out is that people didn't feel like the expectations were really clear when they came on board, and people didn't feel like they knew what they were supposed to do. We thought we were doing a good job. Clearly we weren't doing as good as we thought we were.
Well, when you come into a whole new organization, it really is hard, right? To make sure that you're relaying and reiterating those expectations consistently enough to be retained.
Well, not just that, but they're learning our company plus their clients. So it's a little bit more complicated than just coming in and learning one company. And to know, we've been virtual since 2014, completely virtual. So it was old hat for us, but we had to kind of rethink how we were doing this to make it more successful.
Absolutely, especially with how COVID redefined what it means to work from home. It's so much more of a robust, system. And I think we've definitely rose to the occasion, especially when it comes to our hiring and retention. We've got that. I feel like we've got that down to a well-oiled machine. I think we've revamped our interview process several times, I think, since we've developed the new hire orientation, just to make sure that our expectations and candidate expectations are the same, and guarantees success in our partnership with them.
Absolutely. And Sam, what do you feel like has been the biggest challenge this year?
The biggest challenge this year, actually, I might take it a little bit personal, if that's okay. Yeah. This was honestly kind of a tough year for me. Big life changes. Moved back to the United States. I lived in England for about 5 years. Huge adjustment. We're also a military family, so my husband is currently on a year-long remote tour. So the balance between like the personal life and your responsibilities as a member of leadership, I kind of found myself kind of waning, and I'm dropping the ball on both sides, if I'm going to be frank. So I think this year was kind of bringing it back to basics for me. I did some some retraining, some courses. We did some project management courses. And I think that really helped. And it kind of reminded me what I need to be doing with my team as well to rejuvenate them, re-engage them. How do we get people within the company to be excited and passionate about the work that they're doing? If you don't feel that excitement and passion, if you're letting all of these stressors kind of, take over your brain. So I think once I kind of got my head back on straight and I started to feel like, because that's why we do this, isn't it? We love this. We love the people that we're working with and for. Once I got myself kind of back on track, you and I, Denise, worked pretty closely, I think, to develop more things and more ways to engage people, align with the team closer to the actual organizational goals that we have established. So we've actually established, new roles within the creative team that are more specific to skill set, so that people don't feel like they're round pegs getting put into a square hole. And I think it's definitely made the team stronger, and myself also as a team leader, because the expectations are there for me and for them, and we're accountable to one another.
This year, I think, has been defined by change, and thank you for being transparent as well. I love that, vulnerability, just putting it out there. Okay, are you ready to have a little fun? I didn't prep you for this.
I'm ready.
Yes.
Quick fire round. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Italian or Chinese? Food.
Italian.
Chinese food.
Okay, thick crust or thin crust on your pizza?
Thick crust with cheese.
Yeah, thick crust with cheese. Yes.
I'm totally a thin crust person, so I'm not the same on that one. Red or white on wine?
Red.
I don't know. I'm a fan of the white.
I like both.
I mean, there's that
together
too, but
okay, beach or mountains?
Oh, that one's
beach.
Hard.
I grew up on the beach.
You did too, did you?
Both, but I think I prefer mountains.
No, Jersey
I think
Shore.
I'm the same. I love hiking. Actually, last year I did it's a challenge in England. It's the Yorkshire Three Peaks. You climb 3 mountains and you hike 25 miles in one day. And the challenge is to complete it within 12 hours. And I actually did it at 11, so I was very proud of myself. So I'm very partial to mountains.
My shiro. Okay,
it was a good time.
So I did say mountains, but did you notice that I take cruises to the Bahamas like fairly regularly?
Yeah. I thought you'd say the beach.
I don't usually go out on the beach. I just like the cruising. It's relaxing.
Go on a cruise.
It forces me to disconnect. Okay. That's the biggest thing about it. It forces me to disconnect. Okay. So before we sign off for the day, each of you tell me either your favorite client or favorite project.
I have a list.
One.
Yeah, we both, honestly, it's really hard to pick just one favorite, because you really do. There's such a focus for us on building relationships with clients that they all kind of end up to be a little bit of your favorite.
I know, but for the sake of time, just one.
All right. So for me, looking at my list, I'm actually going to go with Meg Sites.
Okay.
Meg Sites from Topshop and megsites.com. And this is because Meg came in very hesitant. She wasn't sure what to expect out of an executive assistant. But through, repeated interaction with her, we've gotten her hammered out to a system where she's even gaining some of her confidence back for her business and everything else. So she's one of my favorite people because she's so positive. And her dog is really cute. Shout out to Winnie. Love you, Winnie.
Sam, go.
Oh, well, again, so many. I have to say, probably go beyond SEO. They're a marketing firm based in Charlotte that specializes in SEO. I love working with them because we're actually partnered with them really, but I just feel like it's a really cool opportunity. I've learned a lot through them, and it feels good to be able to help them kind of elevate the services that they're offering, but also they're elevating us as well with their expertise. So that's been kind of my favorite part about it. I also really like their personalities. They're just great people.
They
Their whole team is
are.
awesome.
Yeah,
I have to
actually,
throw in a little bit of a me too there because their client, that particular client, is very caring for everybody that they've worked with. And when I was I think I was having Liara, or no, maybe it was Caden. That particular client sent me a little care package for new baby.
oh,
Yes.
that's sweet.
Awesome.
That's
Yes.
sweet. Yes, there's several DCA babies. We have oh my gosh, several team members who have had babies while they're here.
Mhm.
I think we're probably up to about 7 or so at this point, which is really cool. Interestingly enough, yeah, the client that you mentioned, Go Beyond, she is a Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business alumni with me, and I got the pleasure of hanging out with her in July when we went to the 10KSB summit. So that was a lot of fun, a lot of fun. Okay. Quickly, anything you want to add in before we sign off for the day?
Just really that I love working here and I love my lovely team. They're all
Right?
wonderful. Shout out to all you.
Okay. Are you schmoozing me?
Maybe a little bit.
Maybe a little bit.
Is it working?
I love you guys. You're awesome. Sam, anything?
Just that I am so profoundly grateful, honestly, just for the time within the company, not just for the personal growth, but also to see the company grow and change over the years, and all of the team members that we have just absolutely flourish and become whole new in their careers. It's beautiful, honestly.
Awesome. I appreciate both of you and your time. You've had some great nuggets here, words of wisdom, some laughter. I love that. And yes, that is what it's like to work here or even be a client of ours. All right. I appreciate it. This is the last podcast of the year, but the words will go down forever.
Happy New Year.
Yes, Happy New Year.
Thank you for having us, Denise.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.